Hey guys, welcome back once again to Niagara Fire Corals. Today we're going to do an update on the system. As most of you would already know, I've had a few issues in the past several months that we've resolved. I've made multiple changes to the system and I've installed some new equipment. We're going to go over all that. We'll start in the sump room. Stick with me because later in this video I'm also going to be releasing some exciting news. So I'll see you guys in the sump room. Alrighty, so we'll start out first with the frag tanks, and I am happy to say that I'm pleased with the results I'm getting after removing the lenses from these Orphic bars. If you've seen that video, you'll know what I'm talking about. And look at this, guys. We've got color again on a lot of the coral. Everything's starting to really bounce back now. Everything is doing really well. I'm seeing growth again. I'm fragging coral again. Everything is recovering really well. Look at the colors. So you can see we're headed in the right direction, that's for sure. Here's the other frag tank. Same thing, as you can see. Getting lots of color coming back. Corals are looking good. I've been doing a lot of cutting again. Look at all those rainbow dynamites, guys. That chalice just grows insanely fast for me. All right, so it's just showing you that, you know, corals will recover if you give them time, you leave them alone and you do things right. But we'll move on to some of the changes I've made during this time. And I'll show you guys what I've done. All right, so we'll start out with the sump. Not much to update here. I did put this in place. I'm using some filter floss coming back from the frag tanks to the sump. That's new, but it's not much of a change. Still running the Advast K1 calc stirrer, the CO2 media. Look at this beast. This skimmer pulls like no skimmer I've ever owned. Reef Octopus 5000. It's an older skimmer and I can't let it go. That skimmer is an absolute beast. And then on to this new piece of equipment we added, which is the Red Sea Reef Mat 1200. Now I had somebody comment when I did my last video and I was changing the rolls, that the roll didn't look very dirty. And the reason being was I had a couple of feet left on the roll before I did that video and I just rolled it up on the spent roll. So just to show you guys, I mean, like, look at the difference in those two rolls. Okay, that roll, yes, is very dirty. And it is pulling, I cannot believe the amount of stuff that this is pulling out of my tank. One of the big changes I made in my tank that I'm going to show you is a reason why this is pulling so much. But yeah, this was an amazing purchase. I can't say enough about it. The Red Sea Reef Mat, this thing is pulling a ton of waste, detritus and everything else out of my tank. I couldn't be more pleased with this product. All right, so we're gonna move on. One other thing I'd like to point out that I did change since all these issues happened, I changed salt brands, and I'm now using the Aqua Forest probiotic reef salt. So far, I'm very pleased with it. Mixes very well, mixes very quickly and clean. And it's been, I test it every time I mix it and the test results have always been the same. It's been bang on, so very pleased. And of course, I'm still running the calcium reactors as well. So we'll move on to the display tank now and I'll show you some of the changes I made out there. All right, so here we are out at the main display tank. I'll just take you for a quick walk around. show you some of the coral. You can see a lot of these colonies are a lot smaller than they were 6 months ago. But the big thing is their colors coming back. They're getting healthy. They're recovering. All right, so one of the biggest changes I made is you'll see that I've removed almost the entire sand bed. I did leave sand in underneath, like through the big cave areas, because I have a couple of wrasses that bury themselves and I didn't want to leave them with no sand. So I did leave sand in underneath in these caves. But other than that, as you can see, I removed the vast majority of the sand. Another big change I made is I lowered the aquascape by probably 3 inches, and I got it off of my back wall. The aquascape used to be right against the back wall all the way down the whole tank. And as you can see now, the fish gets out of my way. You can see now it's away from the back wall. It's no longer touching the back wall. Another big change I made is, if you can see here, shouldn't be difficult. All these colonies, frags, everything, they're all put up on like posts or on like pedestals. And the reason I did that is because if you saw the earlier videos of this tank, when a lot of these colonies were a lot bigger, I was having a lot of issues with them growing into each other, especially the bases. And although it wasn't really killing the corals, I would find that one would be doing fine and the other one would be very irritated that they were growing together. And you know, I wouldn't get polyp extension. I wouldn't get very good growth. I usually lose a bit of color. So, and the reason I've done this, let's see if I can get this. Sorry. The reason I did this is because, let's see if I can reach one. Now, say these two colonies here were to grow together, I can simply grab them, lift them out. See that? There's an acrylic rod. I can grab the colony, I can lift it out, I can cut frags, I can trim them back. When I'm done, I just simply put the colony back on top of that acrylic rod, and we're good to go. I think it's going to be pretty handy moving forward. I would say about 85% of the corals in here are mounted in that fashion. Some of them I couldn't get an acrylic rod where they are, so they were epoxied down, but they're epoxied in such a way that I wouldn't have a difficult time to pop them off. All right, guys, so that's the display tank, and it's coming back. It's doing much better than it was last time I did a video on it. All right, guys, so there you have it. I made some obviously major changes to the tank with removing a ton of the rock, removing the sand bed, changing salt brands, but all these changes seem to have really helped with the health of the tank. and the health of the system overall. And I'm definitely on the rebound now. As you guys can see, if you compare one video to another, these corals are looking a lot brighter. The colors are coming back. They're looking healthier. It's just a matter of that growth coming back now. And I think it's, you know, it's starting. So it's not long out for that to start happening for me. And as promised, I have some exciting news. And that is, we just found out in this area, I'm in the Niagara area of Ontario. We lost our major coral show that we used to have here a couple of years ago with COVID and everything else, but we just found out that there's going to be a Niagara Coral Expo at the Convention Center here in Niagara Falls on April 30th. I am going to personally be a vendor at that show along with many others. So make sure that if you guys can and you can get to that show, make sure you go. You can meet me, you can meet multiple other vendors, coral shops, fellow hobbyists like myself. It's always a great time. You find yourself some great deals, and I look forward to seeing you guys there. So as I get more information for this show, I'll make sure I include it in my upcoming videos. Right now, all I know is that it's on April 30th. I believe the doors will be opening at 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. It's a one-day show. It's a Sunday, and it'll be at the Convention Center here in Niagara Falls. So that's it for today, guys. Until next time, take care and happy reefing.